Welcome back to another West Coast Davengers. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Dave, your host. Before we get started with the video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment down below. So we took a couple weeks off. Thank you for watching those videos, the big collection and the OAX walkthrough. We are going back to Japan. That's right. Nihon. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you, Japan. Anyway. So today's video is kind of like I bounced around the city one day going to Shinjuku and going to Akihabra and another area. But what I'm bringing you is kind of like just a little bit of everything that I was hunting for all in one video. You're going to join me. You're going to grab your passport. We're going to take a flight over. We're going to check out the Mandarake complex in Akihabra. We're going to check out Super Potato, the video game store, which has become a tourist destination. We're going to check out an American comic store called Verse Comics. And we're going to get a bite to eat at Eggslut. So first up in the video, I wanted to check out all of the Mandarake stores in Tokyo. I ended up going to a bunch of them a couple times, mostly the Nakano Broadway one. But the Akihabra Mandarake complex is 7 floors. And it's very intimidating to navigate through it. Even though each floor is kind of small, there's still a lot to look at. And I'm going to take you along with me. I bought a couple of things. I don't even remember what I bought there except for the Star Wars magazine, which you'll see me pull out, and a couple of Spawn Dengeki comics. But the way it's situated, though, like each of the aisles is kind of narrow, because the space is a premium. That's why they build up, not out. It's quite warm in there. So why don't you join me as I dig through manga and American comics in Japanese over at the Mandarake complex in Akihabra. I needed a bite to eat, and I was headed over to this area of the city anyway, and I hadn't had any American breakfast or American bacon, really good bacon since I had gone to Japan. It's just not a thing there. So I found out that there is an Eggslut, which you'll see. It is a LA-based egg breakfast restaurant that just happens to have a location in Japan. So why don't we grab a bite to eat over at Eggslut? All right. An LA favorite, somewhere I haven't been in years. Apparently there's an Eggslut in Tokyo, and it's right here. Eggslut is obviously an egg sandwich place that started in downtown LA. I was there very early on in its existence, and it's supposedly really good here. So I wanted to check out Super Potato, which is a kind of now legendary vintage video game store. It's been around for a long time. Homie Brian Moss was the one who was like, oh, you should go check it out. I'm not a huge vintage gamer by means of collecting or whatever. I have been playing video games since I was a kid, starting with Atari and Commodore 64 and NES, Super NES, Genesis, all that stuff. So I've played it all. I never owned a Saturn, never owned a TurboGrafx 16, but I played them at friends' houses. But I still wanted to check it out and see if there was anything for me to buy, to bring back and sell to my loyal customers on West Coast Wednesday. But I didn't know what I was in for. It was a really cool store to be in. As you can hear, the sounds are great. Vintage video game sounds coming from every little corner of the store.
That makes sense. So better. Ooh, Yu-Gi-Oh! I like him. Yeah.
Thanks for watching. We'll get right back to the video. But before we do, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Drop a comment down below, hit the like button. All of that stuff helps me boost myself in the algorithm. I have an audio podcast which is adjacent to this called Direct Edition. Talk about movies, music, all different art. And I do a lot of interviews on there. Most recently, I had DJ Scheme Richards on there and artist Alex Pardee. Just recently, I self-published the sequel, second volume to The Many Faces of Jack Kirby, called The Many More Faces of Jack Kirby, as a tribute to the king, the one and only king of comics. You can buy that by visiting westcoastavengers.com, finding the section on my website, shooting me a message, and letting me know that you would like a copy. $25, 30 shipped anywhere in the US. Thank you, and back to the video.
You have menu.
Yes. My family had 3 boys, and we were all playing games.
3 boys.
I did find the section that had the gamer guides and the old Japanese, player guides, gamer guides. They're manga sized, and I ended up buying an original Super Mario NES guide, which I've already sold since then. I think a lot of people that used to love Super Potato feel that it has become overrun, overpriced, and is more of a tourist spot, which I understand. But if you're in town, it is definitely worth looking at and just checking it out and taking in all the sights and sounds. All right, so lastly, I wanted to check out, there's I think 2 American comic stores in Tokyo. I forget the name of the other one, but Verse Comics was the one I went to, mostly because it's got this legendary wall that you can see that all the artists that have visited there have signed and maybe even sketched, including the great Ed Piskor, rest in peace, who visited there with Jim Mahfood and a couple other great artists. So I figured I would check it out. I ended up picking up some stuff there. Very small store, but you can pretty much find anything new or trade paperback from Marvel, DC, Image, all of the American publishers. So why don't we check out Verse Comics here? They carry Derek's book here. So right here there's two different walls, these yellow walls that they have American and Japanese comic artists sign and sketch. As you can see, there's some great names here, but the one that I really wanted to see was Ed Piskor and his drawing of Spawn, which he did, I think, about 3 years ago or so. And that's the only reason why I really knew that this store was a destination for me to visit, because I can get American comics anywhere. So that was my day. I bounced around a lot around the city, picked up some stuff here and there, but the one thing that I kept that I know came from Verse Comics was this Japanese copy of Peach Momoko's Demon Days, and I bought this knowing that I was going to see Peach at Tokyo Comic Con, so I did have her sign that interior, and it's just the American comic with the Japanese language, which she originally wrote before it was translated. Verse Comics is great. You should check it out if you're in town to pick up anything that was maybe produced in America or published in America that gets the Japanese translation. But thank you for joining me on another Japan video. We have a couple more left to roll out before I am dried up with footage. So we'll be rolling that out over the next couple of weeks, maybe months. And then I will hopefully be going back to Japan at the end of the year. If you're still looking to buy some stuff that I brought over from Japan, you got to check out my West Coast Wednesday sale. It is a live sale right here on the YouTube channel where you can claim books and I will ship them directly to you. Once again, check out my website, westcoastdavengers.com, to grab a copy of The Many Faces of Jack Kirby and the podcast direct edition. Thank you for watching. Arigato gozaimasu. And I'll see you next time on the West Coast Davengers. Ooh.